So, prospecting on a budget, I decided to rename it to do 36 deals a year with no monies. Because I think that sounds better than prospecting on a budget. Can we all agree on that?
Amen, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Is everybody, I think everyone in here knows me.
Yep.
Pretty much. So I don't know if I need to talk a little bit about, I thought maybe I'd get some new people to kind of talk about, why I'm here, what I've kind of done. As far as our first year in the business, I'll just kind of give a brief overview. We did 10 deals our first year, which obviously is pretty unimpressive. And then what happened was we were with Prudential. We switched over to Keller Williams. Dave made a decision to switch to KW, and after that I did Ignite, which is what you guys are here for. I did Ignite, and then right after that we went to Bold training, and we drove there for 7 weeks, wow, which was pretty intense. And then after that I got a coach at the end of Bold because they said you need a coach, so I decided I better just listen to them. And we did 53 deals our second year. I did that with myself and 2 assistants. I think you started then, right? Yeah, so 53 deals. And then last year we did 82 deals. I sold about 72 of those myself. And then last year we did 112 deals and I sold 84 of those. So trying to ramp up and get leverage. It's taking some time. Joe B, what's going on? Hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it. Really nothing I can teach you guys, but maybe I'll learn something from you. Anyway, so that's kind of what we've done. Our goal this year is 225 transactions. Hopefully, my coach said, let's put you in the business plan at 30 deals. And I figured I could probably stumble on 30 deals, and I think I did 13 in January, so I think there might be a few more than 30. But anyway, it's been a fun ride. I love real estate, love Keller Williams, passionate about this. Just getting into teaching, trying to hone those skills. The goal is kind of to go around teaching different classes and doing webinars and things like that. So I appreciate you guys being the test dummies and having to do the pain of dealing with this, because it'll be painful. So this is what I would do, okay, if I were to be brand new in the business today, like some of you guys are, 2-3 months in, 5 months, 6, whatever it is. This is what I would probably redo with no money. I got some credit card debt when I was new and I started buying leads and things like that, but I didn't really know what I was doing at all. So this is what I would, this is what I would do for my business if I was new. That's what this whole presentation is about. So kind of the most important thing is you need to understand that time blocking is important. And now, while we all have beautiful schedules, my schedule looks just incredible on my phone. It's like, wow, that is awesome. It doesn't always work out like that. So you need to try to get in the time blocking habit of making sure you're doing this. So this would be an ideal schedule. And we'll actually give you this at the end, so you don't have to get too crazy with notes or anything. But we'll give you this PowerPoint so you guys can have it. Right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this is what I expect of agents on our team. So get to the office around 8:15, whatever. Start prepping for your calls. Script practice from 8:30 to 9. We do a quick, from 8:45 to 9, we do a quick Uber call to kind of get everyone on the same page, see if they have any problems. And then 9 to 11 is going to, really 9 to 12, but 9 to 11 is going to be lead gen, then 11 to 12 is going to be lead follow-up. So you need to understand a couple things, that lead gen and lead follow-up are 2 different things. I think if you get that mindset, it's really going to change the way you do business. As far as when you're generating leads, you're calling and talking to people you've never talked to before, okay? Lead follow-up is talking to people that you've talk to and you're following up. Okay, your money's going to be in the lead follow-up. That's where you're going to make your money. Understand that. And lead follow-up is very important. A lot of people don't do it. But lead generation is actually what you need to be focusing on. So every day, if you were to say, okay, I'm going to go for, whatever you set your target for, let's say, even we call them nurtures. Okay, so on our team we shoot for 5 nurtures. That's anyone who's going to be doing business. Okay, if you shoot for 5 nurtures a day, that's going to be very challenging. understand that. Even if you shoot for 2, you'd be doing a great amount of business. So Tim Heil, this is just a quick story for you. Tim Heil, when he got into this, he did 5 nurtures a day. That was always his goal. His first year he did 18 deals. His second year he did like 52. And this is all he did was 5 nurtures a day. That was his target. 5 nurtures, 5 nurtures, 5 nurtures. And then he did like 100 and some. He was listing, and then he did 200 or whatever. He was listing 30 homes a month. Okay, so understand, he did the same thing. It just takes momentum to build your pipeline. But the only way you're gonna do that is lead generate. So he would go for 5 nurtures a day, and then of course do your lead follow-up. But just, it's very important to understand that lead generation and lead follow-up are 2 different things. And I don't think most people realize that. They think, because lead follow-up's the easy part, because you're gonna call and be like, oh yeah, remember we talked about how, when are you thinking, oh yeah, next week, and you're just like, oh, crushed it today, right? But you're not building your pipeline for down the road, so just make sure and focus on that.
How would you define nurture?
Nurture is anyone that wants to do business with you ever, okay, at some point. Now, if they said, now we define a nurture on our team as 3 to 12 months, okay, the actual, in our CRM, we use Boomtown. In there, 3 to 12 months is going to be a nurture. 0 to 3 months is going to be hot, and I'll talk a little bit about that more later. But any 12 months plus is a watch. Okay, if they tell me 3 years, understand we'll archive that later and set a follow up for a year is what we'll do, and then it'll be just a simple conversation of, hey, you said you were going to sell in 3 years. It's been a year. Are you still on track for that? No, I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but that's what we do. We'll also archive people later on, and then we have a hopper system, and then we'll put them in there, and then agents can grab stuff out, and we'll do call lists and stuff like that. But the goal is to get ISAs that are working through those, and eventually when we get to a point, we'll top grade these to where they only have 100, they can only have 100 nurtures or watches, all of it, a combination, and hots, in their pipeline at a time. So what that's going to do is cause them to top grade. They're going to be looking, and then the rest of those are going to be going back into the hopper. So they'll keep kind of funneling through. Great question though, thank you. And then lunch, my goal is I'm always trying to do a couple things at once. Like The Miracle Morning, this is a fantastic book if you guys haven't read that. And just this is why I have Audible, and I'd be happy to send any of you a free book. If you don't have Audible, I can send you any one of those books for free. But understand that the simplest thing you can do is just get Audible instead of listening to the radio for part of the day. I started out just like my morning commute, and then, because everyone's like, oh my God, I gotta have my music, right? Well, I just started out my morning commute, and then as it progressed, now I just listen to music. I hardly listen to music. I actually only give myself permission to listen to music after 5 o'clock. So I listen to Audible. Understand, just your commute to work, you can listen to at least 4 books a month. Okay, so it shouldn't be a big challenge to listen to books. And when we were at 10X Cardone, he said, no, I hate reading books, but I hate being broke worse than I hate reading books. So I thought that was good because, it's always a challenge when people come into this. They always say, hey, I don't like reading books. I don't like that. I'm like, man, 15-minute, your 10-minute commute to work, that's it. Just do that every day, 10 minutes. You'll still get a book a month. And then it'll progress, because when you get into a good book and these self-help books are good, you're like, for me, sometimes I'll be into it. I'll sit in the parking lot for 5 minutes and listen to the book because I want to get through that section. So that's one thing. I mean, that one thing, literally, if you take nothing from that class, if you just get Audible and listen to it for 10 minutes, that'll change your life, I'll guarantee it. It completely changed mine. That's when everything was different. Understand, go ahead, Scott.
Hey, you could put it on up the speed to 1.25 or 1.5.
That's what I do, good point,
So,
yeah,
so
it's a great
you
point.
get through them quicker, and at first it sounds fast, but you track with it.
1.25 is what I do. 1.5 is I'm a little slow. So 1.5 for me, I'm trying to get all that, and I like to kind of think about it a little bit, but I know a lot of people even do 1.75. But just 1.25, I mean, that's 25% faster or whatever, than 22, whatever the exact math is on that. But anyway, just getting through those, so that's a good way. But in the Miracle Morning, they talk about that. So talking about doubling up things for your lunch, you can do a 1-to-1. Same thing for your Miracle Morning. Like me, I'll listen to a book while I row. right? So that's one way you can knock out two things on that miracle morning at the same time, or when you're getting ready, listen to a book. Okay, because getting ready for you is a habit. I mean, it's pretty much, it's the same routine. So, anyone have any questions on that, how that works? 1 to 2 should be like lead follow up again, check your emails, stuff like that. But understand, during your lead gen, you're not checking emails, you're not doing any of that stuff. That's what's gonna screw up because your drunk monkey is gonna want you to definitely check your email. It's gonna be like, there's important stuff in there. You need to check your email. And same thing. Somebody comes to your office and they're like, hey, Kate, I got a question about this. And you're like, oh, great, come on in. Yes, I'm not lead generating. I mean, trust me, I know how that goes. Because having a whole team, I get people coming to me all day and I'm like, woo, I'm the superhero, I solve problems. But really I don't, because I don't enable them to solve their own problems. So that's kind of what the schedule looks like. Y'all should shoot for that. Like I said, it's not going to be pretty. Script session a day. I think everyone overlooks this. I don't think a lot of people want to do scripts, but I think it's super important. I think the only difference, when you go into a listing or you don't get something or something doesn't go your way, it's because they simply out-scripted you. Okay, so understand that. And that the other thing that I took this at 10X, I thought this was good. I did a little video. I don't know if you guys all watched that. I did on the KW Mastermind, that video on your objections. And that was really good because that guy has 250 people. He's a mortgage guy, he has 250 people. He's worth over $100 million. And he said that what he found out was that, and I go through the same thing, the agents will come into the office and they'll be like, hey, this has happened to me. And I'm like, I've never even heard that before. Or somebody's saying this for this reason, and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. So understand that you need to start looking for those, because your 5 objections you get all the time are 90% of your objections. Okay, and typically that is because you don't believe in it. So a good example of that is transaction fee of $175, okay? If you don't believe in that, everyone's gonna get it. For me, I don't care. I'm just like, boom, here it is. This is what it is. I go on to the next thing. I don't even talk about it really. It's just, I let them know about it and we move on. We get on with our lives. If you don't believe in it, I don't know what happened there. It broke. But if you don't believe in it, so those are your objections. The point of that is, understand what those are, be conscious of that, and then start working on those. Start saying, because I started getting commission a lot lately, and I haven't been doing that at all. Normally I'm really confident in our services, and so I never really get commission objections. And then lately, in my head, I've been getting them a lot. So in my head, I'm like, it's so much, we're in our market up there, everyone just does 5%. I mean, they're just like automatically, they're like, 5%, no problem. We pay out 2.5 up there, so they just are like, no problem, it's half, that's no big deal. But it's hurting themselves or losing a lot of money. And so automatically I'm like, I was competing a lot lately, so we've been getting a lot of calls lately, which takes a lot of time, or at least did for me, because I'm probably not very good. So it took a lot of time for people to start calling me, and now we're getting a lot of calls. But what I found out of people that call you that don't know you, if they just call you and they're random people, is that they're calling other people. So you're competing every time. I'll guarantee half the time I don't even know I'm competing, I'm always competing. So right away, of course, they want 5% because everyone else. But if you're confident in your value and understand that, just looking at it and going, okay, why am I getting this all of a sudden? Because in my mind, I was just thinking, hey, this is easier just to do 5, right? Because this is like easy, everyone else does 5, let's just get it. I know my value's better, so if I just go to the same commission, they'll just list with me. And then a couple times I've been losing. So what I understand is that even though I'm doing it, you gotta make a connection with people. But just look for your objections, and just make sure you know your scripts. So open houses are like gold. I mean, you guys all know that. Who all does open houses in here regularly? Yeah, slacker there. Didn't raise your hand. Yeah, open houses up here are way better than they are in Spearfish. When I was new, I actually used to drive up here and do open houses. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
But I used to drive up here because they were so much better.
Well, no one did them back then at all in Spearfish.
No
I
one
mean,
even did them.
No one ever did 'em.
When I started doing them, I was like the only one in
Right.
Sturgis, and I just was like, I'm just gonna do this, but it actually worked. When I decided I'm just gonna do it and commit to it every week. The thing with open houses is consistency, but the reason open houses are so powerful is because when you meet someone face to face, it is way more powerful. You're just socially wired that way as human beings, and it creates serotonin, which is like a drug inside you. So it's automatic. Like when you have a phone call with someone, it's easy to, you don't know them, it's easy to not answer the phone call or hang up on them or whatever. When you're in person, it's a lot more challenging to blow them off later on. So understand that's why they are, but also knowing your scripts is important. Once again, going back to script, they have very specific scripts, and I can give anyone my scripts who's interested in them, but they have very specific purposeful scripts for open houses. So the questions you should be asking, this should all be, you should know what you're doing. You don't just do an open house and like, okay, I'm gonna wing it and just hope people come, and no, understand, this is when they come in, are you in the neighborhood? Do you live here? Are you in the market for a house? How many houses have you looked at? Have you found anything you like? Are you working with an agent? There's questions you need to be asking, because if your open house gets busy, you need to decide who's the most important person in that open house for your time. So you don't want to be wasting time with someone that's committed to another agent. You want to move on to someone else. I hope we're all on the same page that an open house is to generate buyers, not to sell houses. Less than 3% homes, 2%, 1%, whatever stat you want to read. It's not a good way to sell a house, but it is a good way to get a buyer. So just doing the 7th level, circle dialing, door knocking. Now understand you need money to circle dial, that's why you don't need any money to door knock. I'm not a big door knocker. I'd rather hit the phones, but the whole point of this is with no money, so you're not gonna have money to circle dial. 7th level open houses, getting balloons, door knock. If you don't have signs, do an open house on someone else's listing and get signs, and then understand that your best location, borrow signs from other agents. Look for this is absolutely critical when you're doing open houses, is get an open house near a busy street. Because what do we say? What's the point of an open house? Buyers, okay? So it's not about selling your house, so you don't necessarily think like this. You wanna look at all the listings in the office, do the ones closest to busy roads. That's how you're gonna get the best results. You're gonna go put a couple signs out there, put a couple balloons, and you're gonna get way better results than your listing. Just doing your listing because it's your listing is not important if you're actually in the business of getting buyers. Does anyone have any questions on any of that? It's on the same page there. And then 1 live video a week. Now this has been gold. If you guys aren't doing live videos, you're missing a massive opportunity. It's free. Understand this is like database marketing to your sphere for free. It's absolutely critical that you're doing open houses. I require one on the team. It's almost more important to me than contacts. Not quite, but it is up there, because you can do, like Kayla and Stacy, they're doing 3 a week now, 3 live videos. They're doing them on education, so go into a neighborhood, say, hey, I'm here at whatever neighborhood, Skyline Drive, doesn't matter, here's the stats here, and just become an expert. Because see what happens, the more people see you on Facebook, they're gonna think of you every time, they're gonna see you as an expert, and so that's your whole goal. Do your listings. Go do other agents' listings. Who cares? They're not gonna know it's not your listing. Just go in there and say, hey, here's a great house for you to come look at, blah, blah, blah. Do just a quick video. I mean, you should be all over video. 1,200%, like that, what Dorsey was saying too, what we learned at 10X, 1,200% more likely to watch if it's a video than a post. And I don't even, if you'll notice what I do on Facebook, I don't even post anything without a picture. I will go on Canva and make a picture before I can't even remember the last time I did a post without a picture or video. They're completely worthless. Doing a post without a picture is absolutely worthless, and then doing them with the video is gonna be 1,200% better than without. So the live videos, you get a review, very simple. Tell your client, all you gotta do, tell your client, just closed a house, they love you, your last client loved you, right, Kate?
Of course they did.
So call them up, tell them, hey, this is really gonna help me with my business. I'll send you a $10 Starbucks gift card if you do a 30-second video just on your iPhone, pull out your phone, do a 30-second video talking about why you love working with me as your real estate agent. That's it. Send that thing, use that thing. I mean, you can make so much money off that one video. Advertise it on Facebook. You're gonna obviously, send it out once a month. No one's gonna see the same thing. You understand, like 20 people are seeing your posts when you post. So just keep sending that same video out. Use it on your website, use it everywhere. Convert it to a blog. Send it to the newspaper, whatever. Do a press release. I mean, there's so much stuff you can do with that one video, but that's a good tip for you guys.
Jeff, the live video versus just a regular video, any thoughts on that side of things as far as?
Everyone wants live. I don't even think there's a comparison. I think you can take those lives, polish them, go to Fiverr, use someone to make you an introduction, and then put that on and then make them a YouTube video. But understand that everyone wants to see you screw up, everyone wants to see you make mistakes, and everyone wants to see you be genuine. So that's the thing. They want to see you're a real person. That's what's going to interest them. Thank you, though. Good question. So, keeping your pipeline full. Your pipeline is your lifeline. Do a 1-to-1 a week. So here's we're going to take action right now. This is what we're going to do. So you guys are going to make some money right now. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you some 1-to-1s. And a 1-to-1 is just simply like a coffee meeting, a lunch, something. Here's a quick way. Everyone pull out their phones. Pull out their phones. This is gonna be good. You guys are gonna like this. Is gonna be.
Thank you.
This is gonna be.
Nothing else, no.
This is gonna be easy. It's just a text message. It's just a text message. So take out your phones and say this. Write this. Here's all you need to do. Say, text this. You can't read my writing, so I'm not even gonna write
No, I
anyway.
was gonna say,
Just text this. Hey, let's get coffee this week or next week and catch up. What time works best for you? Just say that to one friend and then copy that and send that to 10 friends. Okay, that one little thing right there. If you meet that many people every week or even whatever, your goal is at least one, but just text people, say, hey, let's get coffee this week or next week. How does your schedule look like? I haven't talked to you in a while. I'd love to catch up. And then go there on your 1-to-1s and talk nothing about real estate. Don't say one word about real estate. Understand that if people know you, like you, and trust you, they will give you all the business you ever need. Okay, you don't need to, I know this might go against what Ignite teaches you. I don't know. But what I do know is that building relationships with people is what's important. So text them that, ask them to do coffee, copy that, send it to 10 more people. You'll see what that'll do for you. And it takes 15 minutes. Go to Dunn Brothers over here or whatever for 15 minutes. And it's just super simple. Does anyone have any questions on that? Oh, you'll make some money in this class. So I didn't completely waste your time. So CRM, okay, so I told you zero money, and I meant that, okay, zero. You don't need to spend $1 to be in real estate except, fees to the MLS and Keller Williams and all that stuff. But so here's kind of how I did this, because actually I liked it in the beginning when I was new. I completely used Google as my CRM. Okay, Google has tons of free stuff. So what I would do is I would put in a Google contact, and then in their notes, every time I talked to them, I would put the date and the time, and then I would just write my notes. And then I would go to my Google Calendar, which I hope to God all of you guys are on Google Calendar. If you're not on Google Calendar, you got bigger problems. But you need to be on Google Calendar. And what you're gonna do is then you talk to them, and then you're gonna set a follow-up call. So you're gonna go on your calendar in that time from 10 to 11 when it's follow-up. You're gonna stack people in those times to follow up with them. Okay, so that's a super simple way to use. I still actually, even with my CRM, I'll put them in there, but I'll also put them on my calendar, both, just because it's an ingrained habit, and I trust my calendar. I know I look at it every day, and sometimes it's just me because I'm bad, and I more run a team than do sales now, so I don't actually check my to-dos every day. So I know I check my calendar every single day. So that's why I do it. Now Evernote, what I use that for, a couple things. If you guys aren't using Evernote, this is a great way to use Evernote. And here's why you need it. when I go through a house and look at a house, when I go there, I'm running way over time. When I go there, what I'll do is I'll take pictures of the house, I'll take notes of the house, everything. When was the roof done? When was the furnace? I'll do all that stuff on Evernote, and then I'll send that back to Christina to do the CMA. Now, if you don't have someone to do your CMAs, who cares? You're still gonna want that. If they say springtime, the title needs to be the address. Because they say they want to list in spring. If you're busy and doing what you should be doing, I will guarantee you're not going to remember much about that house. Especially, if you're trying to do 2 or 3 of these a week, you're not going to remember that house. So it's beautiful because when they call and say, hey, we're ready, or you're following up with them or whatever, you can look back and go, okay, because you're going to do a new CMA at that point. Now you have your notes. You can simply say, hey, Kate, did you do any updates since the last time we talked? No? Great. Okay, perfect. So let's just do a new CMA. Your notes are there. The other thing is I have a hot list. So my list is, it's called upcoming listings and upcoming buyers. Okay, that just very simple. I try to keep things stupid simple. Okay, so what I'll do on there is say, I see in the store, I see Gary, and Gary's like, hey, Jeff, I'm thinking about selling my house in 6 months, or a year, we're kind of on the fence. Sometime this summer, thinking about it. I'm glad I saw you, whatever. I'll be like, awesome, Gary, when do you want me to follow up? Should I give you a call in June? He'll be like, yeah, call me in June, whatever. And then right when he leaves, boom, I'm gonna go to Evernote on my phone and I'm gonna put upcoming listings, Gary Mesner. I'm gonna put that right in there and I'm done. Like now I don't even need to think about it. I'm gonna go to my Google Calendar and I'm gonna put right on there that in June 1st, whatever, I'm gonna put call Gary about listing home. Done, because see, then I don't even need to think about it. Like I'm done with that. I can move on. So that is just a very basic, very simple. I still do this to this day. I still have my upcoming listings. I still have people thinking about buying a house. If you even tell me like in a year and a half I'm gonna buy a house, I'll put you on the list just because I try to categorize them a little bit like a year plus, but your CRM should do this, but this is also how to do this for free. I mean, you should be able to do this for free. Does this make sense? Does anyone have questions on how any of that works?
And so when you put people in here, you're copying onto your calendar back when you're using that system so that you had that reminder piece, because Evernote doesn't really do that, does it?
It doesn't, no.
Okay.
No, yeah, just so I had a reminder,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
So it's just, your CRM will do the same thing, but it's just so it's on there. I check my calendar multiple times, I'm sure everyone does, but the night before I'll see, who are my targets. You should use your 10X planner by Cardone. And then you see who are my targets, who do I need to be talking to tomorrow, who do I need to be, keep doing that.
It just goes into.
Do you have?
So yeah, just, that's a real basic, so you don't need any money to do any of that stuff. So buyer and listing consult, I never had this on there before, but now that I've been bringing in a lot of new agents, what I really realized here was that you really need to get these down, okay? I understand that you're the professional. I know a lot of people, I know I used to be like this, just meet people at the house and, oh, I don't wanna talk to that, I don't sign agency and do all this. It only took, somebody said to me one time, this really clicked, as they said, you would never take a listing without a listing agreement. Why would you ever work with a buyer without a buyer agency? A buyer agency is a listing agreement. And so that really clicked with me. And so ever since then, I don't have the time really anymore at all. Now understand, if a buyer calls you and they wanna go look at a house, I'll show them a house, but we're gonna talk right on the island. I've done so many consults on the center island, so many of them, but you need to be well-versed, particularly your listing presentation. Hopefully all of you have one of those. You should, I hope, have something that talks about what you do for people, the value you bring, because understand, when you get busy and you get to levels that I hope all of you achieve, you're gonna be competing against people. Okay, you simply, in my opinion, cannot create enough wealth to take care of everything you'll need to take care of in your life for all the unknowns, just by working with the people you know. Maybe someday, maybe 10 years from now when your database gets big enough, but still, you're gonna have to work, even to build your database, you're not gonna know them. So they're gonna wanna know the value you bring at some point. So practicing this at least once a week. Going through somebody in the office, practicing your presentation at least once a week. I think it's absolutely critical. We've learned lately that they need to, just think of it like this. Before a heart surgeon becomes a heart surgeon, he's gonna work with another surgeon for 3 years in residency and just hand them tools and learn and maybe make a few cuts here and there, but they're not gonna actually do any heart surgeries for 3 years, okay? So think of it like that. You need to perfect your skills so that you are an expert at what you do. And this is just very simple. These are what you should be shooting for every week. If you do all these things, you need to be shooting for 1 buyer agency, 1 listing agreement, 1 under contract, and 1 closed a week. I mean, if you're not shooting for 1 of those a week, I don't know what you're doing, but you should be, I mean, you should be shooting for at least 1 of those. And the 15th protocol, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but basically what that is at the 15th of every month, if your goals are not achieved, then you should be, I just say you just double this. So that's all you do. It's pretty simple. Just double. Do twice the scripts, do double the open houses, do twice the live videos, you know, double it. Just pretty simple. Anyone have any questions on how that works? It's pretty straightforward. The other thing I would do, so now you're like, okay, done all this, I'm starting to make some money. I would save 10% of everything you make for more tools and leads. That's what I would do. I actually gave this advice to Cody and I kind of forgot about it. And I called him on a deal and he goes, man, I did what you told me to do. I saved 10% and now I've got Boomtown and I'm getting these other leads and you know, what do you think I should buy now? And I'm like, I forgot I even said that, but it was a good point. If you save 10% of everything you make, that's how you can get the mojo. For me, I like circle dialing, you may not. But just getting Mojo and Cole Realty right there, you know, I believe that'll cost you, I want to say that's $250 a month maybe for both of those. Okay, so then you can do your open houses. You can circle dial just listeds, just solds. You know, other people in the office, you can circle dial their stuff. So that's a relatively cheap way to produce results. If you circle dial every, you know, once or twice a week, you should be able to get some good results for that. Shalisa's daughter Cheyenne, when she was doing ISA for us, when she was on her college break, I don't know, what was she doing? She was doing what, 70 to 95 contacts a day. She was doing about 300 dials a day. Okay, and she was working anywhere from 5 to 7 hours. So you should be able to get, I mean, she's almost doing a bold 100 every day. She was working and I just had her circle dialing. She got me at least, doing that, she got me at least 1 to 2 appointments a week usually, and she's brand new. I mean, clearly after honing her skills and understanding better objections and how to deal with people better, she should be getting 2 or 3 appointments for listings a week off circle dialing. So understand it does work. That's one way. You can get Boomtown. There's a lot of other things you can get, but the point is save 10% of your money. And I got a whole nother class on money, what you should be doing with your money. Hopefully you're saving money for taxes at least. That's a good thing. Taxes are bad. So. But yeah, I mean, that's basically, I tried to keep this stupid simple. I went 12 minutes over my time.
No, you did good. Question is, you built your team and you've had different people do different things, and one of the things you hear a lot is, I hate the phone, or I don't like this, or I don't like that. What have you found within your team, the different strengths of the different people? I mean, have you really run into that much to where you're sitting there saying, well, I love the circle prospect, I'm not gonna door knock. You know, what do you tell people when they say, I'm scared to death of knocking on a door? Don't do it. Find what you love.
You shouldn't
and what
hate
you
your
do.
job. You should not hate your job. I completely believe that. We have a lot of people doing a lot of different things on our team, social media, but understand they still are required. The minimum number of contacts you can do to be on our team is 50. Okay, if you don't do 50 contacts 2 weeks in a row, our third conversation is, where's your next step, cause it's not in our organization. 50 contacts minimum to be on the team. If you don't do 50 contacts, you lose your leads for the week, which isn't fun for anyone. And second time, you lose your leads for the week if we're on, and then if, 2 weeks in a row of that, it just isn't it. Because I can't want your goals more than you do. It's just as simple as that. People who don't like making phone calls, I don't like making phone calls, believe me, sitting there all day. I told Shalise that one time, she goes, seriously? You don't like making calls? I go, no, I can't wait till I get nice. I never have to make a call again. But I like money more than I don't like making phone calls. So you have to understand, maybe money doesn't drive you, but I don't know about you, but I like to make my house payments. I like groceries, I like food, as you can tell. So all of that stuff is what I would say to anyone who doesn't, it's the same thing about books. You don't like reading books, great. Do you like money? I mean, it's just that simple. But yeah, understand, if you don't like door knock, I don't like door knock, I don't door knock. I've sold 82 homes, I didn't door knock one door. I did door knock a few doors just to see if I liked it, and I don't like it. So, yeah, dialing, if you don't like circle dialing, great. I don't know why, circle dialing's so easy, but if you don't, no problem. I think almost everyone circle dials on our team, actually,
There's nobody that doesn't.
I don't think anyone that doesn't circle dial.
It's because it's an easy call. You're
Right.
calling them with information.
Yeah, but only one person works expireds, one person works for sale by owners. We're gonna hit all facets and corners of real estate, but do something you like. If you want to go out there and socialize and do networking all week, great. Go get a bartend. You want a bartend? Perfect. Stacy, she still bartends at the stadium. She gets like 50 to 80 contacts every Friday. She does like every other Saturday. I mean, she could get 100 contacts a week just bartending and making money while she's doing it. So, I mean, that's a sacrifice you have to make, because now you're gonna work all day Friday, and then at 4 o'clock, you're gonna go serve cocktails till 2 a.m. and then close the bar down. But, there's so many different ways to do real estate. That's why I love it. I think the real point is you have to get contacts some way. Okay, like I'm letting Kayla and hopefully I'll get this and I'll give you this system. My goal is to create a system from this social media thing to where you can actually implement this social media strategy. It's where the 3 videos a week, they're gonna do 20 likes a day, 10 comments a day, because if you're not liking or commenting people's stuff, it'll be the same people seeing your stuff, so you gotta get in the Facebook algorithm. So they're gonna do that, they're gonna do 3 videos a week. I don't know all their list, but we figured it all out actually yesterday, and we'll see if that system works, if we can get results from that. Great, I'll do a class on that too. But understand, they're doing that system and they still have to get their contacts. I don't care if they're doing that experimental system, that's fine. I think it'll work. I'm confident it will work, but still they need their contacts.
So when they're doing that, I mean, what are you seeing now? Just comments, basically? Oh,
They
cool.
so they're out and about and people are like, hey, I saw your video, I love that, da-da-da-da-da. Once again, the goal is to be in front of them when they think about doing a transaction. Or their friends. If you're there all the time and people are gonna do business with people they like and that are like them, okay? So if they're on video and they love it and their friends like, gosh, I love the way they do though, that I like, their friends like, hey, I'm buying a house, they're gonna be like, hey, you gotta call Michaela or Stacy because they're awesome. They're doing this face here. Look at this video they did. So that's kind of my take on it. But results, I don't know. They've only been doing it a couple weeks now. So.
But if anything, you're obviously establishing yourself as a local expert for.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's one of the big keys that we always talk about with video anyway. It's like you're establishing yourself as a local expert, and if people say that, even if you don't think they're watching, a lot of them are watching. I hear that all the time. But.
Yeah. No, I would agree. Anyone have any other questions about anything, about our team, about any things we're doing, systems we're using, anything? Cool. That's all I got.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks,
Awesome.
Shalisa. Appreciate it.